Hi friends, this video is on motion, part 13 out of 14. This video is brought to you by COACHINGCARES.IN, Designing Future by Smart Education. In this lesson, we are going to study some numericals. Let us take this first numerical. A car is traveling at a speed of 90 km per hour. Brakes are applied so as to produce a uniform acceleration of 0.5 meter per second. Find how far train will go before it brought to rest. So car is traveling at a speed of this. This speed is given. This is the u. This is 90 km per hour. So uniform acceleration applied through brakes. So that is retardation. So we'll take it in minus 0.5 meter per second square. So how far the train will go if it is brought to the rest? Rest means the final velocity will be 0. We have to calculate s, the distance the car will travel. So we can apply the equation. V square, equation of motion, V square is equal to U square plus 2AS. We'll put the values. This is 0 and that U is in kilometer per hour, so we'll convert this in meter per second. So that will be 90 into 1000 divided by 60. So you'll get 900 by 36. So that will be equal to 25. Meter per second. So we'll put all the values. This is 25 square. We'll take square plus 2. A is given here, minus 0.5 into S. So S will be equal to 625 minus, so multiply this 1.0, which will be equal to 624 meters. So this is the final answer here, that is S. So like this we'll apply equations of motion, 1, 2, 3, the suitable equation, and we'll solve the numericals. So we have to understand the condition actually, and we have to put the values in the equation of motion, and very easily we can calculate the numericals. Let us take for the numerical, which is a trolley. It is while going down on inclined plane has acceleration of 2 centimeter per second square. So acceleration is given here, 2 centimeter per second square. What will be the velocity after velocity? 3 seconds after the start. So time is given already, 3 seconds. What is the velocity? Final velocity of this. A trolley is moving with the acceleration. It is given, so trolley was at rest. We are assuming it is at rest. So initial velocity will be 0. So we'll apply this condition and we'll convert, before applying this, we'll convert this thing centimeter per second square into SI unit meter per second square. So that will be 2 you can say like 0.02 meter per second square. So we'll apply the equation of motion V is equal to U plus AT. So we'll put all the values. V is equal to 0 plus 0.02 into T is 3 seconds. So that will be equal to 0.06 meter per second. So like this, we'll solve the numericals. We have to put equation of motion accordingly, and we have to understand the condition, and we'll solve the problem. Let us take another problem now. A motor car has a uniform acceleration of 4 meter per second. This is uniform acceleration is given, that is 4 meter per second square. What distance it will cover in 10 second? Time is given here 10 second. What is the distance we have to calculate? S, that is question mark. So like this we will calculate all the values. So motor car is at rest initially, we can assume. So this U initial velocity will be 0 because motor car is rest at initial position. So let us apply one condition here, as equation of motion, that is S is equal to ut plus half at square. So S is equal to U 0. U is a 0, so we'll write it 0, then half A, that is 4, then we'll apply T, that is 10 seconds. So the value will be 2 multiplied by 100. So S will be equal to 200 meters. That is the final answer. So these are the logic to understand, and we can solve all the numericals accordingly. Let us take another example, another numerical in this slide. A ball is thrown in the vertical upward with a velocity of 5 meter per second. Okay, so acceleration of the ball during this motion is 10 meter per second. So this acceleration is negative because it is moving up. So we've taken up 10 meter per second square. Okay. So acceleration of the ball is during its motion is 10 meter per second square in the downward direction. What will be the height attained by the ball? And height attained by the ball, we have to calculate, the S we have to calculate here, and how much time it will take to reach there, and T we have to calculate ultimately here. So ball is thrown vertically, so initial velocity of the ball is U, we'll assume, which is 0 because ball will be at rest at initial position. So this in this numerical, we know the values what we have. We have A with us, we have U. So we'll calculate, we'll apply equation of motion. I'm sorry, this is v. This is not u. This v is the final velocity. So when ball will reach at the maximum height, so this velocity will be zero. This is the zero velocity here. V is the zero. So we'll apply the equation of motion here. V square is equal to u square plus 2as. V is 0, u square plus 2 multiply minus 10, and here we'll multiply by s. So we'll apply all the values here. U. So U is already given, which is 10 meter. I'm sorry, which is 5 meter per second. So we forgot to write it. So U is already given, which is 5 meter per second. This is the initial velocity, and this is the final velocity. This is the final velocity. We'll take this final velocity V, which is 0 at the maximum height, because when ball will reach at the maximum height, so that velocity will be 0. So we'll apply all the values. U is 5 here, so we'll write 5 square plus minus 20 s. So s will be 25 divided by 20, so that will be 1.25 meter. So that will be the height the ball will achieve. The maximum height is 1.25 meter. So like this we'll solve all the problems. So another, we have to calculate t. So this is one answer we got. Another one, t. So we can apply like v equal to u plus at. So v is 0, u is already given, plus a, that is minus 10, and time we have to calculate. So that will be 10 t equal to 25, then t is equal to 25 by 10. So finally t is 2.5 second. This is the final answer. The time taken by the ball to reach the maximum height is 2.5 seconds. So like this we'll solve all the problems. Let us take another problem. That is a boat starting from the rest on a lake accelerates in a straight line at a constant rate 3 meter per second square for 8 seconds. How far does the boat travel during this time? So boat is at rest initially. So let us take u, assuming u is the initial velocity is 0, and accelerating with a constant rate that is given by a 3.0 meter per second square, and time t is given for this acceleration, that is 8 seconds. So we have to calculate the distance traveled by the boat, that is s. So we can apply the equation s is equal to ut plus half at square, that is u is 0 plus half a is given, t is given 8 seconds. So that will be equal to that is 64 by 2, so which will be equal to into 3, so that will be 96 meters. So this is the final answer of this question. So we have to understand the condition of the question, I mean the initial position, then the acceleration we have to see whether that is positive or negative, then we have to take the time where, I mean in the question it is being mentioned, then we will calculate the distance which is s. So we have to apply equations of motion accordingly and we'll get the answer. Let us take another example. A ball gently dropped from a height of 2 meters. Its velocity increases uniformly at the rate of 10 meter per second. With what velocity will it strike at the ground, and after what time it will strike the ground? So here given the height is given, s is given here already, that is 20 meters. Velocity increases uniformly at a rate of, I mean a acceleration is given here, that is positive, that is 10 meter per second square. What will be the final velocity? I mean ball is gently dropped, so what will be the final velocity? Initial velocity of the ball we are assuming u, which is 0 because ball was at rest. The final velocity we have to calculate, I mean the velocity at which it will strike the ground. This is final velocity we have to calculate, and we have to calculate what is the time taken in this travel, the whole travel of the ball, I mean when it will strike the ground. Like this we have to calculate. So the equation, what equation we can apply here? V square is equal to u square plus 2as. V square is equal to u is 0 plus 2, a is given 10, s is given 20. So v square is equal to 400. So v is equal to 20, that is meter per second. This is the answer. That's the final velocity by which ball will strike the ground. Now it is asking the time. So time we can calculate v is equal to u plus at. So we have 20, u already given, which is 0, plus a is 10, time we need to calculate. Okay, so 10t is equal to finally is 20, so t is equal to 20 by 10, and the final answer is 2 seconds. So it will take 2 seconds to reach the ground, to strike the ground basically. So like this we will apply equations of motions accordingly, and we'll get all the values of the quantities, and we'll solve the problems in the same way. Here is a logic. We have to understand the condition very, logically we have to understand the condition, and accordingly we have to apply the equation of motion to solve the problems. So I hope you are able to understand. So thank you very much for visiting COACHINGCARES.IN. Watch free educational videos, get best quality study material, study from the best tutors and mentors. So thank you once again.